3 technologies that will shape the future of the metaverse and the human experience. The word metaverse has entered common usage, but there remain different ways of conceptualizing and defining it. The metaverse will be shaped by the technology we use to access it, which could include virtual reality, VR, augmented reality, RCANs, and brain-computer interfaces, BCI. Major technology companies including Apple, Google, Meta Platforms, Facebook, Microsoft, Niantic, and Valve are developing the tech that will shape the future of the metaverse. Over the course of 2021, the word metaverse entered common usage, inspiring a lively global debate about what it represents, whether it is already here, and who will own it. But in 2022 we still don't have an accepted definition of what it is. This has been satirized on the tech website The Verge. Maybe you read that the metaverse is going to replace the internet. Maybe we're all supposed to live there. Maybe Facebook or Epic or Roblox or dozens of smaller companies is trying to take it over. And maybe it has got something to do with NFTs. In order to explore the possible implications of the metaverse, we need to understand exactly what it is. The attempts at a definition can be categorized into 3 schools of thought. 1. The metaverse in theory. The metaverse as a product or service. In January 2020, author and investor Matthew Ball published the most commonly referenced description of the metaverse, an expansive network of persistent, real-time rendered 3D worlds and simulations that can be experienced synchronously by an effectively unlimited number of users, each with an individual sense of presence. According to his definition, the metaverse is a product or service, with 7 core attributes including persistence, synchronicity, and interoperability. The technology strategist Ben Thompson has argued, however, that this description is in fact not far from what the internet already is and is, only with a 3D layer on top of it. The metaverse is a place. The metaverse has also been described as a place where users can connect, interact, and transfer themselves and their belongings across multiple digital locations. Examples that come to mind include gaming and creator platforms like Roblox, Epic Games' Fortnite, or Manticore Games' Core, in which players and their avatars can seamlessly transition from one virtual world to another. The metaverse is a moment. More recently, the startup entrepreneur Sean Puri came up with another definition, describing the metaverse as a point in time. Specifically, the metaverse is the moment at which our digital lives, our online identities, experiences, relationships, and assets become more meaningful to us than our physical lives. This perspective puts the focus on the human experience, making the transition to the metaverse a sociological shift instead of a technological one. 2. The metaverse in practice. The third definition is compelling in part because it focuses on those who will actually build and use the metaverse, people. Answering questions about how the metaverse might look and feel, rather than pondering about its features, could prove a useful viewpoint to predict the wave of socio-economic change that the metaverse is expected to unleash. After all, the future is built by ruthless pragmatists, not the armchair theorizers who meander the forest of their own words. And if technologists are right that 2022 will separate thinkers from builders, then last year's technical advances will produce this year as first steps towards making the metaverse a reality. Progress will, in large part, be attributed to ever-improving graphics processing units, GPUs, photorealistic 3D engines, faster content generation through volumetric video and artificial intelligence, the increasing prevalence of cloud computing and 5G, as well as more sophisticated and better understood blockchain infrastructure. But from the perspective of the human experience, one development stands out above all others: extended reality, AR, technologies. These include virtual reality, VR, augmented reality, RCANs, and brain-computer interfaces, BCI, which together position themselves as the next computing platforms in their own right. AR has made rapid progress toward mainstream adoption, with predictions that VR and RCANs headsets will surpass global game console shipments as early as 2024. And just like the introduction of the personal computer and smartphones before them, broad consumer adoption of AR headsets is expected to revolutionize human digital experiences and is likely to provide the entry points of choice to the metaverse. The question of which era technology ultimately prevails is the subject of heated boardroom discussions, corporate chessboard moves, and elevated investment activity. Today's Metaverse, virtual reality as the digital escape. Over the next few years, the Metaverse is expected to manifest itself primarily through virtual reality, an alternative, digital world that can be used for a variety of personal and enterprise purposes. Recent high-profile announcements by Meta platforms, formerly Facebook, Microsoft and Sony, all suggest that headsets like Meta Quest or Sony Sur will be the consumer choices to navigate interactive and social 3D environments. Virtual reality is focused on creating a digital sense of presence, which many experts agree will be key to creating an attractive experience and retaining users. Mark Zuckerberg claims that the metaverse in the form of popular video games is already here. Many tech experts expect to see Meta acquire a major gaming franchise in 2022. Near-term metaverse, augmented reality to enhance not replace the human experience. A lot of people are talking about the metaverse these days. Coming off 18 months of Zoom, Netflix, and DoorDash, you can count me out, at least in the form that most folks are imagining her. John Hank, the CEO of tech company Niantic, in a recent blog post. He argued that digital technology shouldn't compete with physical reality, and that most people don't enjoy prolonged experiences inside virtual worlds. According to Hank, the metaverse should improve, rather than replace, human experiences. He is not the only one to articulate this argument. Philip Rosedale, who oversaw Second Life, an online social platform launched in 2003, has recently argued that the metaverse is not for everybody. But Niantic's vision is predicated on augmented reality recances, which unlike doesn't completely cover and replace a user's field of vision. Long-term metaverse, brain-computer interfaces, the final platform. Perhaps the most far-reaching vision for the metaverse involves brain-computer interfaces, BCIS. All models of AR today rely on screens and traditional control systems, even if some devices have also worked with the senses of touch and smell. BCIS aim to replace screens and physical hardware entirely. Technology such as Neuralink requires neurosurgery to implant devices in the brain, an idea that simultaneously intrigues and discourages many potential consumers. Researchers have also used neural interfaces to restore the ability to speak and write in people that have suffered speech loss. 3. The perils of predicting tech developments. There are many different ways in which the metaverse could develop, all dependent on an ecosystem of research, innovation, investment, and policy. Any effort to predict winners is notoriously unreliable. If the metaverse materializes, it is likely to expand into experiences that we cannot predict, and anyone who claims with certainty that they know what will happen is probably lacking the flexibility of curious optimism.